so the final step is basically to test our instruction set extension. Just to quickly go over the modulo function. So this is basically what we are doing, or we are going to do in the RISC-V core. So we're going to add something right directly into the ALU, and then it's going to do this function, this mod function. So modulo is basically, it will calculate the division of a number, and instead of returning the answer, it returns the number of digits remaining. So if I do modulo 6 and I type on, actually let's do 3, so we can have an answer or a remainder of 0, 1 or 2. So if I do divide 3 by 3, we get 0 because there's no remainder. If we divide it by 4, there's going to be 1 remainder, and we divide it by 5, there's going to be 2. And then we come to a multiple of 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. It's a nice round number, so we end up with 0. So that's the kind of idea of what this thing is doing. So if we close that, what we can then do is go ahead and edit the hardware files so that we can have this functionality in hardware. So we need to update 3 bits. Not 3 bits, 3 files. So the first one is Ibex ALU, the next one is Ibex decoder, and the final one is package. And then what we want to do is make a file called modulo _32_op.sv. And that's where our modulo instruction is going to be. So I should have this code available. So I'm just going to copy and paste it from where I have it available. So if I go back here, so yep, as I was saying, we need to add some code to the package, ibex package.sv. So if we just search for ALU, not ALU, opcode _e, then we are in here. So we're basically adding our opcode in here. And if you remember from doing the compiler changes, we had an opcode of 6B in hexadecimal. So that tells the Ibex core, you're gonna, if you see this opcode, or you should see this opcode, it'll know what to look for because it's already stored here. So that's gonna tell this that it's a valid opcode, and then we just need to go down to ALU op e. And at the very end here, just add this line in, so ALU mod. So we're going to have our modulus function in the ALU. Then what we can do is go to the decoder, and what we need to do, so that's the package dealt with. Close that. In the decoder, what we can do is come down and look for the ALU section, which is, it's handy found if you look for this. So just in here, what we are going to do is add in our opcode. I have previously called this opcode crypto, but I'm just going to call it opcode modulus or mod for now. And then our bits 12, 13, and 14, which is the funct 3 within the instruction that we made, we had them all set to 0. So basically what this is doing is saying if any of these bits are not equal to 0, then it's an illegal instruction. And I did 0 by Alperin. That's a guy I work with. Boop. So that's gone. Yep, so that's all the code we need added in there for this part. And then we actually need to add in another bit. So in the decoder for ALU section, decoder for ALU, and then we scroll down. So within this, we scroll down till we find a comment section saying ALU, which shouldn't be far away there. And copy this in here. And then what this is basically doing is saying whenever you get the A and B, pass that into the ALU and pass in the operator, which is the ALU modulus, not operator, well, operator opcode, which is going to be, in our case, hexadecimal 6B. And then finally, we can go in, not finally, but nearly finally. If we scroll down inside the ALU, basically until we get to before this result mux, what we can then do is, I'm going to copy and paste this code in. So what we have here is we have 3 32-bit logic lines. The result is stored here. This is the dividend value and the divisor. So the dividend, for example, if we had the dividend was 5 and then mod 3, the remainder was going to be 2. So this is our 5 and this is our 3. And then we pass those in to our mod function. I need to change that. This here needs to match the file name and the module name that we're going to create. So I've just instantiated this module using this keyword mod function. You can call this whatever you want. You could call it hey baby, and it won't really matter, I don't believe. But this is our module. This needs to be exact, and these are the parameters. It's just good practice to do it this way so that you minimize mistakes. So then our mod result, finally, if we come down here inside this last bit, and we add ALU mod is equal to, not equal to, colon result 0 or result O is equal to mod result. And then now we are finally at the bit where we can create our module. So I'm just going to copy and paste this in. So we have our module, modulo 32 op, and we have input A, input B, and our return value. So return value is basically obviously the output of our input A and A modulo B. So the modulo function for C and for system verilog is the same. It's just this percentage operator. So now when we pass in A and B, it's going to calculate the modulo and return it here. One more thing we need to do is add that into the Ibex Core file. So this will basically just tell the core once it's building that, oh, this file exists, and don't forget about it. And then now we can try and build this. So if we look for our fuse SOC command, run that, and we shouldn't have any issues. Why do we have an issue? So this one is probably because well, actually it's not opcode crypto, it should be opcode modulo or mod, and then this one, I know what this error is. So the first issue is Ibex PKG, and if I scroll up to this, it's not crypto, it should be just mod. It can be crypto if you want, but anywhere else that, so for example, we use opcode mod. So this can be crypto, but it also needs to be crypto in the decoder as well. So I'm just putting it as mod because that's what we wanted anyway. And then in this, the other error is because there's no new line here, because that's how fussy Verilator can be. And if we rebuild that, why is it complaining? Because there's no comma there. Okay, while that's building now, what we can do is I'm going to just update this hello world or hello test C file because it's just going to be quicker. So we can work out our modulo value. I'm going to put these in place so that there's no problem. And it's easy to identify. I suppose we can put in a string anyway saying C modulo calculation. So we're going to do it in C. Calculation. And then we're going to put hex. And I think we can just do this. If we do 8 mod 3, and that should give us a remainder of 2. Take a new line and then do something similar. we need a result uint 32 underscore t result. And then actually this bit is going to require some inline assembly code. So we're basically what we're gonna do now is call our own instruction that we created, and we're going to use it to basically do this. So this is doing the same thing in software that we are going to be doing in hardware. So if you just bear with me, I can add this in. I'm going to borrow this from my research code. So modulo, and then we have result here. And I'm going to put 8 here and 3 here. And then I'm going to print the result in hexadecimal. So now that that is all done, our RISC-V core rebuilt, I'm just going to clear this. And then I'm going to remake the hello test. No problems, that's good. And then I'm going to run it. It took actually a bit longer this time by 0.004 seconds. And then it had a lot more cycles and a lot more instruction calls, but that's fine. Now what we can do is if we cat ibex simple system.log, we will now see that, well, our answer. So our CE modulo calculation is equal to 2, and our ISE modulo calculation is also equal to 2. So let's take another example, modulo calculator. I'm going to take the dividend of 10,000, 10,001 and 3329 as our modulus. So A is this, B is this. Let's go. Let's see what happens. And then if we run that to build it, that to run it, and work out the log. So the answer is E. E is equivalent to 14 in decimal, which we can verify. So decimal, if we put in 14, we will get E here. So that there is basically verifying that our new modulo instruction works. And that's basically it. That's how you go and create your own custom instruction set extension for RISC-V core. How you add the hardware for it within, for example, the ALU in this case. And then how you go ahead and make use of it using inline assembly. I hope that was helpful for someone. If you liked it, please give the video or videos a like. And I'll hopefully have time to be making more of these kinds of things in the future.